You know, if you're standing there on the Giza Plateau, the first thing that really hits you is just the silence.
The silence, yeah. And the scale of it all.
The scale. I mean, we spent all our time looking up at them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just craning our necks, trying to figure out how in the world anyone stacked 2 million blocks of limestone so perfectly.
Right. But lately, it feels like the whole internet has stopped looking up.
And started looking down.
Way down. And it's funny you mentioned the silence because the online world has been anything but silent about this.
Oh, completely. We're seeing this massive surge of interest in what might be hiding, you know, underneath the bedrock they sit on.
Exactly.
And we're not talking about, like, a hidden broom closet or a forgotten tomb for some royal cat.
No, not at all.
We are diving into a story today that claims there is something massive, a literal megastructure sitting right under the Pyramid of Khafre.
It is a wild story. And honestly, it's the kind of thing that makes you want to believe.
It's got everything.
It does. It's got secret technology, spiral staircases, ancient gods. And then, on the flip side, you have the archaeological establishment just absolutely furious about it.
And that's the tension we're getting into for this deep dive. We're unpacking an article from Kult.oficial that asks a pretty explosive question.
Yeah, it's, is it true that a megastructure has been discovered beneath the pyramids? Here's what the experts say.
And the answer, well, the answer is complicated. It's a mix of hard geology, viral mythology, and a crash course in how not to do science.
It really is a perfect case study because on one hand, you have this viral claim that validates like every fantasy novel ever written.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other, you've got the cold, hard reality of the Giza Plateau.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission today is to walk that line.
We have to figure out what was actually found, who found it, and why the experts are already calling it fake news.
Before the ink is even dry, yeah.
So let's start with the what. Because if you've scrolled past this on social media, you've probably seen some pretty crazy renderings. This is not a basement we're talking about.
Oh no, the claim here is immense, and it comes from a specific team, a group of Italian researchers, led by Corrado Malanga from the University of Pisa, along with Filippo Biondi and Armando May from the University of Strathclyde in Scotland.
So proper academics?
On paper, yes. They had a press conference, and they dropped some very, very specific numbers. They're describing a structure under the Pyramid of Khafre.
The second biggest one.
That's the one. And they claim it goes down 640 meters.
Hold on. 640 meters.
Mm-hmm.
Just for context, the One World Trade Center is only about 540 meters tall.
Mm-hmm.
So they're claiming there is a structure buried in the bedrock that is deeper than the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere is high.
That is the claim. And it's the detail that makes it so sticky. You know, they aren't just saying, oh, there's a void.
Right.
They're describing a complex, engineered system. They claim to have found vertical shafts, something like 10 to 12 meters in diameter, just plunging down into the earth.
That's massive.
Yep.
That's wide enough to drop a house down. That is not a ventilation shaft. That's a highway.
Easily. And surrounding these shafts, they describe, and this is the part that really captured the internet's imagination, spiral staircases.
Spiral staircases. See, that's where my alarm bells start ringing.
Mm.
It sounds so cinematic.
It does.
It sounds like a level in a video game. You pull a lever, the wall opens, and there's the spiral staircase to the underworld. It feels incredibly specific for something buried under half a kilometer of rock.
Well, it gets more cinematic. They also described a limestone platform with 2 massive chambers. But the detail that really pushes this from archaeology into, like, science fiction is what they found at the bottom. They claim there are descending channels that look like pipes. Pipes leading to the center of the earth.
Pipes leading to the center of the earth. Okay, pause. I mean, physically, geologically, what would that even be? We're talking about the mantle, magma. Why would you pipe something to the center of the earth?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And if you're looking at this from a purely engineering or archaeological standpoint, it makes zero sense. But the researchers didn't present this as just a building. They connected it immediately to mythology. They suggested this structure might be the legendary Halls of Amenti.
Ah, I've heard that term floating around in alternative history circles. That's deep lore. That's from the Emerald Tablets, right?
It is. It's tied to Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom, writing, magic.
The guy with the ibis head.
That's him. And in these esoteric texts, the Halls of Amenti are this. Well, this space that holds the wisdom of the ancients.
So it's where all the secrets are kept.
Yeah.
The key to eternal life, all that stuff.
That's the idea.
So let's just look at the narrative they've built here. They didn't just say, we found a hole.
Yeah.
They said, we found a 600-meter deep machine with pipes to the core of the planet, and it's probably the magical library of the God of Wisdom.
Exactly. It connects a physical place we can all see and touch, the pyramids, with this deep spiritual longing. It promises that the magic is real.
And crucially, they claim to find all of this without digging a single hole. So let's talk about the method. Because usually, archaeology involves shovels and dust and spending 10 years brushing sand off a potsherd. How do they claim to see spiral staircases through half a kilometer of solid rock?
They say they used advanced satellite and radar images, but here's the catch. They used technology that they developed themselves.
Ah, the proprietary technology card. That is always the twist.
It's a classic red flag in the scientific world.
Sure.
In normal science, you use tools that everyone understands so they can check your work. If I use ground-penetrating radar, any other geologist can look at my raw data and agree or disagree.
But if you say, I built a magic camera that only I can use, and look, it shows a magic city.
Well, it's problematic. It prevents peer review.
You can't tell me I'm holding the camera wrong if you don't even know how the camera works.
Exactly. It creates this closed loop where they are the only ones who can verify their own discovery.
And that brings us to the reaction. Because you can imagine the actual Egyptologists, the people who spend their lives studying this stuff, they did not take this well.
No, they didn't just roll their eyes. They went on the offensive.
I can imagine. It's like telling a heart surgeon you found a second heart in a patient using an X-ray app you coded in your basement.
That's a great analogy. The backlash was immediate. The archaeological community basically labeled it a wave of fake news.
And scientifically completely erroneous.
That too. And the heavy hitters came out, right? We're talking Zahi Hawass.
The man himself, former Minister of Antiquities. If you've ever watched a documentary on Egypt, you know him.
And he took to Facebook and issued a very direct refutation. He said, and I'm quoting here, "The rumors circulating about the Egyptian pyramids are completely unfounded."
Completely unfounded is strong. He's not leaving any wiggle room there.
None. He's not saying we need to look into it. He's saying no.
Just a flat no.
And he pointed out a very practical fact. There are no scientific missions currently working on the pyramid that could support these claims. Basically, nobody is there doing the work.
And he was pretty harsh on the people spreading it, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. He said they know nothing about the ancient Egyptian civilization.
Wow. That feels personal. But I wonder if it's also protective. Like he's defending the history from being hijacked.
I think that's exactly it. But we have to ask, why would these professors make this up? Or if they didn't make it up, how did they get it so wrong?
Right. They have academic titles.
And this is where the Cult.A article drops a really important piece of context about the lead researcher, Corrado Malanga.
The guy from Pisa.
Yes. He is a professor, that's true, but he's also known as a renowned ufologist.
A ufologist? As in UFOs, alien.
Correct. Someone who studies UFOs. He's published several books on the subject, on extraterrestrials, abductions, that kind of thing.
Okay, suddenly the pipes to the center of the Earth makes a lot more sense.
Right.
If your baseline worldview includes advanced alien technology, you're going to interpret a grainy radio shadow very differently than a geologist would.
It's a classic case of confirmation bias. If you're looking for the halls of Amenti, a geological fault line starts to look a lot like a pipe. A natural density change in the rock looks like a spiral staircase.
You see what you want to see.
Mm-hmm. And since the technology is their own, and the paper is pending review, which means it hasn't actually passed the test yet,
there's no one to stop them from jumping to that conclusion.
Peer review is the safety net. It's the boring part of science, where other experts look at your data and say, hey, did you consider this might just be a crack in the rock?
And when you bypass that and go straight to a press conference, you're looking for fame, not facts.
You are. You're bypassing all the checks and balances that keep science grounded.
So, okay. We have a sensational claim, probably fueled by wishful thinking and proprietary tech, and a hard shutdown from the experts. But is the ground under the pyramids solid? Or is there a tiny grain of truth that this whole fantasy grew out of?
And that is the nuance we need to find. Because Zahi Hawass is right, there's no megastructure. But the experts in the article did admit that the existence of small structures underneath is entirely possible.
Small structures like what?
Well, natural caves, fissures, maybe some ancient walls. You have to remember the Giza Plateau is limestone. It's a karst landscape.
Karst. That's like Swiss cheese rock, right? It dissolves with water over time.
Exactly. It's naturally full of holes and caves and underground rivers. So finding a void under the pyramid isn't magic, it's geology. It's almost expected.
And the article brought up a really interesting comparison to the Maya civilization. How does that fit in?
It provides a kind of cultural logic for why there might be something down there. We know for a fact that the Maya built their pyramids, like El Castillo at Chichen Itza, directly over cenotes.
Right, the natural sinkholes, the deep blue pools in the jungle.
And for the Maya, those weren't just water sources. They were entrances to Xibalba, their underworld. They were sacred.
So the logic follows. Did the Egyptians do something similar? Did they find a site with a significant cave and say, this ground is powerful, we're going to build the pharaoh's tomb right here?
It's a real possibility.
That feels so much more human. It's not about high-tech pipes, it's about spiritual geography. This place feels special, so we build here.
Precisely. It grounds the mystery in anthropology, not sci-fi. But there is a massive difference between we built this pyramid over a sacred natural cave.
And we built a 640-meter deep high-tech city?
It's the difference between a cathedral having a crypt and a cathedral sitting on top of a spaceship.
Right, and that's why the source material calls the city claim a major exaggeration. It takes a real geological possibility, caves, and blows it up into a complete fantasy. But why do we prefer the fantasy? I keep coming back to that. This story got millions of views. The debunking probably got, what, a fraction of that? Why are we so hungry for the underground city?
I think it comes down to a friction between how science works and how the internet works. Real archaeology is slow. It's painstaking.
How slow?
It's years of sifting dirt. And we found a natural fissure that might have been used for water drainage 4,000 years ago.
Is a fascinating scientific statement, but it is a terrible headline.
It's boring. It doesn't get the click. But spiral staircase to the god of wisdom, that gets the click. It triggers that little dopamine hit of, I knew it, the world is more magical than they told me.
And the viral posts, they know how to hack our trust. The article mentioned they use specific dates, construction between 2550 and 2490 BC.
Right, they throw in hard facts to make the fantasy feel authoritative.
It gives it the texture of truth. It's a false equivalence. Look, I know the dates, so I must know about the pipes.
And what's dangerous about that is it disrespects the actual history. Zahi Hawass and the other experts get so angry because the pyramids are already one of the greatest achievements in human history.
They are.
Built by human hands with human sweat and human genius. And it's like we're saying that's not enough.
It's too boring.
Yeah. There must be magic, because humans couldn't have just stacked stones. It robs the ancient Egyptians of their agency. It replaces their incredible achievement with our modern desire for a sci-fi plot.
So if we strip away the spiral staircases and the pipes to the magma, what are we left with? What's the takeaway?
I think we're left with a reality that is grounded, but still mysterious. The megastructure is almost certainly a misinterpretation of data, probably fueled by a desire to find something supernatural. The halls of Amenti, they remain a myth.
But the ground is porous. We shouldn't forget that part.
No, absolutely. The ground is alive with geology. There are almost certainly cavities, faults, maybe even small, modified chambers down there that predate the pyramids.
They didn't build on a blank slate.
Not at all. They engaged with the landscape. They built their monument to eternity on top of a landscape that likely already held deep meaning for them.
Which, to me, is actually cooler. It connects the monuments to the earth itself.
It does. It makes them part of the natural world, not just something imposed on it.
I want to leave everyone with a thought about that search for hidden wisdom. We see it all the time, right? In archaeology, in space exploration.
The aha moment. The key that unlocks everything.
Exactly. And I wonder, are we looking for these hidden cities because we want to know about the Egyptians? Or is it because we're secretly hoping they knew something that we've forgotten?
That maybe they had the answer to death or purpose.
Right. If the halls of Amenti are real, maybe we can save ourselves. Maybe there's a manual for life hidden under a rock in Egypt. If it's just a tomb built by hardworking people, well, then we're on our own.
The search says more about our own anxiety than it does about their history.
I think so. We want a savior, and we're looking for one on the bedrock. But maybe the real wisdom is just accepting that humans build something incredible, all on their own.
A powerful thought.
Something to chew on the next time you see one of those headlines about Giza. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Always a pleasure.